Hi, it's Jill with Crick Flicks. I am going to be finishing up. A couple weeks ago I did a My Little Pony where I had taken a color book image and filled in the hair to make it real full and did a lot of changes to it, but I hadn't really finished it up yet, and that's what I'm going to do tonight. This theme is going to be My Little Pony in the colors of purple and teal and pink, and there's going to be rainbows over the ponies, and then the backdrop for the party is going to be a 4-foot rainbow that I'm going to be doing all out of glitter. I haven't started that yet, however I did start the small rainbows that are going to be going over the ponies, the My Little Ponies that I designed, again, from the color book page, where I did took the hair, the mane, and layered it out to make it real full, because she wanted the thicker mane from another image, but I couldn't find that image that I could color it, and so I ended up having to just kind of wing it and put one together. The paper stack that I'm using, I think I've used this before, is from Michael's Recollection, and it's the glitter stack. I've showed you this in the past. These glitters, these glitter papers, if you have either a Cameo or a Cricut machine, in the past I've had a lot of issues with the glitter falling off and clogging the blade and getting stuck all over my mat, and just disastrous. So I ban ever using glitter again, glitter papers. However, I have found they have come a long ways in glitter paper now, and this particular stack pack is phenomenal the way it cuts. Absolutely wonderful. But I thought because the paper was really thick that I really needed to make sure I stuck it really hard to the mat, so I used a brand new mat and stuck it really hard. You don't need to stick it real hard. It sticks awesome to the mat. And so don't roll it down and beat it so you don't think it'll move, because it doesn't. And what ended up happening is when I peeled it off the mat, I had a brand new mat, and I don't know if you can see, but when I peeled it off, I wanted to make sure it stuck on there well, and it took half my sticky off. So don't make my mistake. Don't assume that this isn't going to stick good to your mat, because it does. There's another, I went there today to Michael's to get something else. I can't remember what it was, and saw that Recollections came out with another stack pack, which is the glitter as well. And this is more earth tones, but there's gold and silver and copper and black. Oh, that's gold. Yeah. Love them. Love them, love them, love them. And they're on sale right now, I believe, for $9.99 a pack. But again, even when I rub on them, none of the glitter comes off. They're amazing. This is the best I have ever worked with glitter paper, is this brand. So, again, for Michael's Recollection, and they're awesome. And if you're into glitter papers, I highly recommend them. Great. I don't think they sell the individual. The one thing I don't like about the individual sheets, they're like $1.99 per sheet. Sometimes they go on sale for 50 cents, or not 50 cents, 50% off. But still, when you think about it, you're talking $1 for one sheet of paper. And these packs are 20 sheets. I guess it'd be about the same thing, because I get these for 50% off. So I get them for 50 cents a sheet. So the individual ones are not a good deal, and I don't like the papers as well. So, and I have an opinion like everybody else has one, and that is mine. Somebody asked me where I get my paper and how much my paper is. The Recollections open stock paper right now is on sale for 7 sheets for $1. The open stock paper, depending on what you're making, they have awesome colors to choose from. However, open stock papers are very, very, very thin. So depending on what you're doing with it, for scrapbooking, they're great when you're using a whole bunch of layers and matting and things like that. I don't use them for any of my centerpieces because I need, when I put this together, this thing has to be firm. So I do not use them for that. I only use the paper stack packs. And I don't know, when you go through your stack packs, they have tons and tons to pick from, but whenever you're flipping through them and you're looking for papers that you want to build this kind of project out of, make sure that the weight of the paper is good, because they do have a lot of, there's real thick packs that you can get on sale a lot for $9.99, and they're like 200 and some sheets. Just give you a little bit of an educational thing here, I'm going to tell you. Like for instance, this Complete Boy, 180 sheets. This is made by Mind's Eye, and I do believe this is actually from Joann Fabric. And I bought two because they do a lot of boys scrapbook pages, and I thought they were really neat. They're good for background pages, but when you get these larger packs, stack packs, they have them at a lot of them at Hobby Lobby as well. Just be very, very, very careful with the thickness of the paper. Make sure you check that out, again, depending on what you're going to be doing with the paper, because some of them are very, very thin, and I don't like them. They cut better on the silhouette, however, I print and cut everything, so I don't really care about that. And somebody also said about refilling your ink, my ink at Costco. I do not refill my ink because I had a brother, bought a brand new Brother printer, and I really, really, really liked it. And I was buying the generic ink, and when I called because I was having troubles with the printer, the very first thing they asked me, are you using our ink? And I said, no, I'm not. I bought some online. And they said, well, they can't warranty, and they tell you right there when you're reading the fine print, your machine is out of warranty if you do not use their ink. And I thought, that's just silly. They just want you to buy their ink because it's more expensive. But after my machine was ruined, they sent me a new one. They were gracious enough to send me a new one because they knew I was still going to be using their ink, or using ink, buying ink from them. And a lot of times the consumable that they, when they sell them, that's where they make their money. And I wonder if this has a backing on it. I think this might have backing on it. I'm sitting here taping it, and I feel like it's probably got a sticky back. I better make sure. Anyway, it ruined it. They replaced it. I got another one. Then I just was using it to print invoices, because the new printer that I have, my Epson 12-inch printer, it doesn't have two paper trays. So I have to, if I'm going to print on an invoice or print an image, I have to swap the paper out all the time, and it's a pain in the butt. So I don't know if that peels off or not. I suppose I could read the package. And so I decided I'll just print in black, and well, it doesn't peel off. I'm going to be sitting here peeling on this. This is actually from a Christmas. This, what I'm using for the clouds, is Holiday Glitzy Glitter from Die Cuts with a View. They had a silver in here, bluish silver, that I want to use for the clouds because I want all this done in glitter. Anyway, I decided to use the generics because I had boxes and boxes of them, and I wasn't going to let it go to waste just to print black. And that printer's not working any longer either. So I love my 7510 printer. Love it. It is the best printer, and I go through printers a lot. It is the best printer, and I'm not going to risk something going wrong because, again, your warranty your warranty is not covered if you do not use their ink. And they know when you don't use their ink, just like iPhone or Apple knows if your phone took a dive in the water. You're not tricking anybody when you say, oh yeah, I'm using your ink, because they know. and it will not be covered if something goes wrong. So that is the reason I do not use generic inks, nor do I recommend that anybody do that with the refills on your good printer, because it's just not worth it. And let me see, yes, this is turned on. Is it heating up yet? Gotta wait for that. Anyway, here is my first glitter rainbow, and I'm turning that way because I've got to put together this side, and I need to make sure I do it the right way. Okay, these are going to be a little bit different, in different order, because fitting these on the paper, since it's the flip side, it just didn't matter what order they were in. And I realized, not because they're in the flip side, when I arranged them on my paper, these were a little bit hard to make sure I could get as many cut out of one sheet of paper as I could. And in all of my thinking in trying to fit as many as I could on the paper, I forgot to flip it. So they were going the same direction. However, as a matter of fact, I got to cut out the other two clouds. I will remember to flip the clouds and tape them on the end, and the shape of the rainbow is different underneath the cloud. It's a little bit different, but the cloud's going to go on top of it, so you're not going to be able to tell. I want to make sure I flip these before I forget, so I do apologize. Okay, what I'm talking about is back here, the shape here is different than here, but when I put the clouds on it, you're not going to be able to tell the shape here is the same. So the fact that I forgot to flip everything isn't going to make a difference. It's still going to lay together fine. But the order of the actual glitter, the colors that are going on the rainbow, are going to be in a completely different order. And again, that's because trying to put them on your paper. I am one about being efficient with my time. This stuff takes a lot of time and a lot of work to do, and that is just one more thing that I add to the reason why I do not use the Cricut cartridges anymore. I don't do any of that little itty-bitty layering. I tell people I don't do that anymore. If that's what they want, they're going to have to let me know, and then I will have to let them know. I will have to return their message and let them know whether or not I'll do it, because there are a lot of things that I will not do. I just absolutely will not. And any of these kind of Cricut cartridges, such as the Toy Story with all the characters and their little tiny itty bitty eyes and little tiny pieces, I won't make them like that. I just won't do it. Especially when you sell things, and people that do this realize the amount of work that goes into it. Whether you do it on a silhouette or not, it does take a lot of work, a lot of patience, and putting those pieces together and the amount of time that it takes, and it's just, to me, you can't sell them for the amount of work that goes in them, and so I just don't do them. You know, I just, if they're small die cuts they want for scrapbooking, they will be made. A lot of the pieces I will do like I'm doing with this rainbow is I'll put, or even like with the horse, with the pony here, there's two pieces I'll put together, and I don't mind to do that, but I will not do the little itty bitty tiny layers and try and piece them all together. The only time that works is when your piece is like 2 feet tall. Then the eyes are at least something you can manage. But when you're making a small little 5-inch die cut to put on a snack box or for scrapbooking, those eyes, number one, you have to cut about 30 of them out, so 2 of them will cut out okay. And because half of them don't, they shred to pieces. There I go, I'm being negative. Sorry. No more negative, no more negative. Now, what I want to do here is, so that this will stay together, I'm going to take and put a popsicle stick right across here. This is the seam where I put the clouds on it, and it's not, I taped it to line it up enough to cover where these ends meet. There's my glitter cloud, Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this on top here and line it up. Not gluing it there, I'm just lining it up because I need to figure out where these clouds are going to go on here so that they line up and cover, and that's not working. I need to turn this a little bit more to make sure. This is what happens when you don't cut it flipped. You work harder than you need to work if you do it right in the first place. Because now I got to try and slide this in where I can get the clouds to cover up that little area. And you know what? If I can't get it to cover up, I will be putting some stars on it. Some glitter stars. You always got to have a backup plan, because if you make a mistake, the materials that you're using are not cheap. And if you make a mistake, I absolutely hate to throw away paper. So I can tell on this one, I'm going to move this back again here a little bit and give this another shot with this cloud. If I got a little tiny piece, you'll see. You'll see. It'll all be fixed. Actually, I think I'm good. If this had been flipped, I wouldn't be doing this right now. I would not have to be dinking around because it would have lined up perfect. But, again, I was spending way too much time trying to figure out how I was going to cut out the glitter. But, again, this is all fixable. If I can remember what I'm doing here. Because I do have, on one of these that I did, I had all the little stars, and what I may end up doing is I have some gold glitter. I may cut out a whole bunch of stars and put them on here. Glitter stars. Because that one looked really, really nice. Now what I'm going to try and do is really see if I can mess this up royally. I thought I put just enough tape on there to hold this in place, and apparently I did not. See, guys, a lot of times I make it look really easy, and then you watch me and you think, I struggle too. A lot. Now, let me see if I can get this off. Come on. And, well, you know what? I'm going to have to put popsicle stick on this one and then go back to the other one because it keeps coming off. Silly thing. I'll put that right over that, and I forgot to get a box of popsicle sticks out, so let me see what I got. Got one. Now I'm going to put this back over here and line it back up so I can try this one again. I can tell by you watching this that you're thinking, oh, this is just going to be something you're going to jump on as soon as you're through watching this video and start making these, because this looks like it's a real cakewalk for me here. I need Jenna. I need Jenna's help. Why am I not able to stick that there? I said I was going to behave on my videos. And watch my mouth. Okay. I don't like that. That's not right. Let me try this one more time. Because that should cover up completely on that side. Let me line this side back up again. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to try and glue it like that. I'm going to take and put a little itty bitty dab of hot glue, because I know that this lined up better. And move this up a little tiny bit. And guys, I know I mention this a lot because I get so incredibly excited, but I really, really think winter is officially over. I went out today and there's sun and birds and it is awesome. I cannot wait for I can't wait to mow the grass. Can you believe that? Well, actually, I can't wait to watch my husband mow the grass. There we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. Got it that time. Took a little bit of thinking, but I got it. And I'm going to put that there, and right now I'm not going to really worry about that little bit of a space because it doesn't matter. I'm going to see how I'm going to put the ponies here. Now, the ponies here I did in a color book pattern. I've got the little rainbow on the butt, and I did a video on how I did this. Actually, it's the unicorn, and I took and cut up the hair because she wanted the really full mane. So I ended up piecing it together so that I could get this really, really full and make her happy. And I did it. Now, this is just going to match up wherever I put it. The thing when you do it like this, kind of just guesstimating, the only thing that you do have to make sure is that when you go to do the other side, you lay your main piece on top because you want them to match up. Or when you go to put them together, you'll be in dire straits because they're not going to match up. So I'm going to put that right there. Okay, then I'm going to flip her over, and I'm going to put her here, her here, her here. Now I think I'll put this one on first because I want them to match up. And then I'll just take and put a little glue here, a little glue here, 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 here. And it doesn't take much because I'm going to fill this up with sticks. And line it up, and line it up. And there you go. There we got her. So now I'm going to take my painted peg. I was trying to explain to my husband how I did this for him, how I explained in the video that I did so that he didn't have to paint these. And I hate to say it, but he could not figure out what the heck I was talking about. And I thought, man, I was waiting for him to jump for joy that I had figured something out that would make his life easier and make my life easier because I wouldn't have to keep remaking my centerpieces after he colored with magic marker all over the front of them. It took him a while before it caught on. And he did finally say, well, it took you long enough to figure that one out, but I said it took him long enough to figure out what I was talking about. I thought that was pretty bad. Such a simple thing that I did, and he couldn't figure out why I did it. I told him I made the video about him shaking and how the other day when I was videotaping, Aunt Jen and I were actually in here, and he was laying in the other room watching TV, and I could hear the snoring start up. And I went in there and looked at him, and he was sitting upright, and t-shirt halfway up, and his glasses on, and his changer in his hand, and snoring up a storm. Just, you know, typical old man. I told him I was going to videotape that and add it to the trailer of one of my tapes, but then he told me that he had access to some pictures of me that he didn't think I'd want all over YouTube or anywhere else, so I wouldn't really do that to him, but it was fun telling him I was going to do that. I really wouldn't, though. That would be pretty rude, but it's pretty funny. I have taken pictures and sent them to my kids in pretty hilarious ways that he falls asleep. That's one thing about men, as they get older, my God, you can stand them up in a corner and they'll fall asleep. And they don't fall over, they don't tip over or anything, they just, anywhere. I cannot believe now. My husband, he falls asleep at work, and I think the drooling wakes him up. I think it's pretty comical because, you know, I watched that growing up on movies with old grandpas and stuff, and you know, I always thought it was just in the movies. After 40 years. By the way, my 40th wedding anniversary is coming up next month. 40 years. That poor man. What do you mean poor man? Nah, yeah, poor man. But, yep, I will be married 40 years. Married a young guy. He sure did get old, though. That is going to be so cute. What do you think? You're going to have to tell me what you think. I'm not gonna mount this up here right now, and the reason being is because I'm not, where'd the back go? Over there. I'm not real sure. I'm gonna paint the peg. That one's gonna be too thick. I think I'm gonna have to use a thin one, because I don't want it. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I can see it now. I went and glued a popsicle stick. I'm going to be in some trouble. That's okay, I'll figure it out. I'm used to being in trouble. But that is how it's going to be. Maybe, yeah. But I'm going to paint the stick, and I think what I'll probably end up doing is adding something to it, glittery or beady or something. And I think I'm going to add some bling, and I know I'm going to add some glitter to her, which I think I will do right now. I can leave her on the stand. I want to glitter her up, and I want to do it with